Sairam. There are some debates that are considered eternal and timeless because they seem to rage on in the hearts and minds of men without seemingly any solution. One such is whether the egg came first or the hen. No answers and the debate goes on. Another debate is whether life is destiny or whether life is free will. There are some who say that everything in life is destined and we are merely puppets in the hands of a puppeteer called destiny. There are some others who say you are the master of your own destiny, you write your own fate. Everything is in human effort, self-effort. It is here that Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba gives the most comprehensive and perfect answer. It is now time to introduce the Sanskrit term karma. The beauty of this term karma is that on one hand it means fate and on the other hand it means action. Karma is the meeting point of destiny and self-effort. Before we proceed ahead, it would be good to learn some thumb rules of this karma. Rule number 1. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Nothing special in that. We have learnt it in high school science as one of the laws of Sir Isaac Newton. So this basically means that when you do good, you get back good, and when you do bad, you get back bad. Hey, wait a minute then. Why is it that good happens to bad people and bad happens to good people? To understand that, we go on to rule number 2, which states that different actions have different reaction times. For instance, if somebody pricks me with a pin, ouch! Instantaneous reaction. But at the same time, when I eat food, I get a belch after 3-4 hours. It's a delayed reaction. On the other hand, when I plant a seed, it takes days, weeks or sometimes months for the plant to grow. It is a very delayed reaction. Different actions have different reaction times. Wait a minute. It still didn't explain why good happens to bad people and bad happens to good people. That comes from the interpretation of this second rule itself. You see, we think life is linear. If M is an action and M star is a reaction, we think that life is M, M star N, N star O, O star P, P star. But life is not like that. Because different actions have different reaction times, life can possibly be M, A star, N, N star, O, F star, P, Z star, and so on. The reaction that I am receiving might be of another action done in the past and not the action I am performing now. That is why when we forget this rule, we think that we are doing good and getting bad in return, or we are doing bad and getting away with it by getting good things in return. If all this seems very complicated, don't worry, because our beloved Bhagwan, our Swami, has given a third option. Professor Raghunath Safaya was a teacher in history and philosophy in the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning in the 1980s. However, he was more known for his faith in the predictive sciences of astrology and palmistry because it had come to him as a family heirloom. He had many thick-set books on astrology and palmistry, and he often fascinated students with his knowledge of these predictive sciences. One day, Bhagwan called Professor Raghunath Safaya in for an interview. In the course of that interview, Swami held his hands and then said, "Professor, your faith in the predictive sciences seems to be so complete. Don't you believe that if you surrender to me, I will take care of you completely?" This was not an easy question for the professor to answer because Swami himself had gifted him with a green emerald ring, because green was his lucky color and emerald was his stone. And of course, there was this full ancestral history of astrology and palmistry to go by. How could he discard them all at once? Swami continued and he said, "These sciences predict what is going to happen. But if there is something wrong or something bad that is going to happen, can they save you?" Now the professor became contemplative because, true to what Swami had said, these predictive sciences were not very useful in preventing things that were going to happen. Swami then told him, Look at your palms and tell me what your future holds for you. The professor didn't have to look at his palms because he knew every etch, every line, every single stroke by heart. He had memorized them for years. However, because Swami said, he looked down on his palms and he was shocked because there wasn't even a single line on his palm. They had been wiped clean. Shocked and thrilled at the same time at what had happened, he rubbed his palms to confirm that there were no lines, and then he bent down and touched the feet of the Supreme Lord of the universe. Swami once again held his palms and gently massaged them, and now the lines were all back. And Swami told him, "Don't worry about anything. If you surrender to me, I will take care of everything." Such was the impact on the professor that he walked back straight to the hostel, bundled up all his books, walked to a nearby well and threw the bundle into that well. With tears of gratitude and thrill in his eyes, he walked back to his class, to his students, and began narrating this entire episode, telling them in conclusion, "Dear students, once you surrender to Lord, you need not worry about your life here or hereafter." Yes, of course, what we meet in life is destiny, and how we meet it is self-effort. But if we direct these efforts towards surrendering to the Lord, as Bhagwan Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita,
Ananyashchintayanto mam ye janaah pariupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham.
irrespective of what we are going through in life or what we are going to go through in life, let us start putting efforts in surrendering to our Lord, surrendering to our Bhagwan, because once He touches our lives, once He accepts our surrender, no karma, no action, no destiny, nothing can ever touch us. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.